Kia ora and welcome back to the channel. I'm Elvie and today we are looking at muted versus bright colour palettes and kind of how they change your paintings. It's more of an informative video. I won't really do any painting. I'll just be kind of explaining, talking and saying just how they work in different ways. Before I get into it, thank you so much for 300 subscribers. That's crazy. I swear I was only at 100 like yesterday. So thank you so much. And I hope you guys continue to enjoy my content. Let's get into it, I suppose. So I've got two paintings here that I've done, same scene. And the only thing I changed was my colours. So for this one, I did some very basic mixing, so rather than mixing like few colours together and stuff, I only very roughly mixed it. So I either used it straight from the pan or I mixed two colours together. So two colours together I find is a simple mix because you're just still getting a very base tone effect. So it's not really giving much detail, or realism is another way of looking at it. It kind of feels unnatural, almost too bright and too colourful. And I find this palette is not quite my go-to. It's not my favourite, but I know people that use it and quite enjoy it. This palette is quite nice if you do want those bright, exaggerated effects. As you can see, it looks like a very bright sunny day. And it is very nice and happy and cheerful, and it's more illustrative. So you'd probably see this in children's books with the illustrations there, and especially if you're still getting used to mixing colours, you'd more lean towards fewer colours mixed together. And that's the bright palette. By the way, I'd like to say there's nothing wrong if you choose one or the other. I'm just giving what I find useful to know, and sometimes it's good to hear other opinions about things, and yeah, there's no right way to do art, but sometimes you just want to know a bit more and expand your bubble of what you know and think you know about art. So if there's any information you'd like to add, feel free to comment below. I love responding to you guys and hearing what you guys have to say. It definitely makes this quite fun, just making it a community and chatting with you guys as well. So continuing on to the next slide. So this one is, I put muted and realistic in quotes. Same with the unnatural in quotes. It's honestly depends your environment. You might have a very bright nature around you. It might be a very sunny day, so the colours look different. It's just in the grand scheme of things. This one I made quite muted. I usually don't make it this grey. Maybe I do, but just putting them side by side, it's crazy to see the comparison. So this one, you can kind of see how it's much more natural. So you feel like you'd see these colours in the outside your window or on a walk or something, compared to these brighter colours. And there's also a lot more mixes that were involved with creating these colours. When I do paintings, I usually mix with colours I've already got on the palette, and this kind of makes the palette or painting overall look very cohesive. And that's just because the colours are the same. Like, I'm using the same kind of colours throughout the piece, just with different variations. And I really enjoy mixing a lot of colours together. So for mixing these greens, I used the green, of course, some yellow. I think I used a bit of both, depending on what area I was painting. And then some blue, sometimes a little bit of red just to earth it up a bit, deepen it. I don't think that's how I meant to describe it, but just kind of ground it a bit, I suppose. And yeah, I love both palettes. They both definitely have their place, and nothing wrong with picking one or the other or doing both, but I find sometimes you forget, or maybe you don't know how to mix some more natural tones. So if you're outside and you're wanting to capture those colours and stuff, it's quite nice to go beyond the colours you're given in the palette, and mix more than one colour together. So mixing more than just the yellow and green together, or the blue and yellow if you don't have a green, and adding colours you wouldn't necessarily add into the mixture. Get used to your colours that you've got available to you. There's a reason they're there, especially in the limited palettes, is someone's put that there for a reason. And yeah, it's just exploring your colours really, and getting used to them, seeing how they mix is such a fun activity to do anyway. But it's also quite helpful, especially when it comes to what you want to get out of painting. If you do it as a hobby but you still want to improve, it can be quite nice to start with your mixing, which is my favourite part. I love capturing the colours of things. Sometimes I find my paintings to be too bleak and too grey, but that's just because I'm capturing what I see, or trying to capture it, while of course keeping my own artist interpretation. So the line work is definitely something I gravitate towards adding into my work. I want to do a video on illustration and like the bold lines, because I don't use pencil, and that's just how I've trained myself to draw. So I thought that'd be quite a fun video to try and make with you guys, and just show you the difference between line work and pencil. I actually remembered I did do a piece, same image, but this was just to compare line work versus no line work, and I think I mentioned it in my sketchbook tour, but this one kind of gives off a more natural approach, and I feel like this is much more flowy. I think that's a good way of putting it. And you have to rely on other aspects to help push the image forward. You want to get your shapes right. I've got the pencil there, so it does help with the shapes, but especially if you don't use pencil, or you erase the pencil, you have to rely on other areas of the painting to elevate it. Whereas for the line work, I've already emphasised the details I want to emphasise, such as this leaf down here, the individual petals, and I've elevated those areas with the pen, and it helps bring them forward, I feel, and give detail, and it makes it quite fun because I do the line work first and then I paint over top, so it's kind of like a colouring in for me. But I find it's quite illustrative again, definitely relates to the children book, where the detail is there for you, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the style. It allows me to draw what I see and trying to get that accurate, and then colouring it as I see, trying to get that accurate. For me, that's just my style. I really do enjoy trying to get it accurate with my own artistic spin on it. I know everyone gets a different thing from art and takes something else away. Like, some people prefer very, very hyper-realistic drawing and painting and stuff, or you might really enjoy abstract, and you might have a completely different interest with subject matter and everything, but this is just my take on it, and yeah, I really enjoy sharing with you guys my thoughts and opinions, because someone out there might find it useful and helpful. So thank you guys for watching. I hope either of these paintings, drawings were inspirational, and I hope you guys enjoy doing something creative. And if you don't end up doing it, I hope this video filled that creative space for you. And thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.